Hey everyone, welcome back. It's been a while. Well, I think like 2 or 3 weeks, but I was in New York tuning some Evos at Community Tune. I'm gonna put a video out on that in a little bit. But we're back at Blueprint in Illinois, and just wanted to show you what's been happening while I was quote unquote vacation. We had a few cars, as you can see, kind of got piled up because I wasn't here. We're gonna get to work on that, but today we have something special that we're going to tune. And deep down inside, I'm actually a Honda guy, and we have that Civic to tune. And then I think the following week we're going to tune the EcoBoost with the 6262, and then the week after is going to be the Evo with the 6870. But a little bit about this is just a stock car with an exhaust. We're going to tune in a Hondata flashpro, and I thought this would be a good opportunity to actually see what the Honda strategy is for tuning. Nothing crazy, not gobs of power. This is not supercharged or turbocharged or anything. Just an NA with an exhaust. So I think it's a perfect platform. All right, so let's get to work. All right, so we're tuning a 2012 Honda Civic Si, and I love the Hondata, especially the Fast Pro, but the interface is pretty much the same. So if you have a Civic or any kind of Honda 2006 plus, you can use the Flash Pro, or if it's below that, you use the Hondata K Manager, or even before that, the Hondata S300, 200. But the interface is pretty similar. To get that, if you get a Hondata, you just go to Google, or if it comes, the software comes with a CD or whatever, but typically people just download it. Flash Pro software, as you can see, just click on the software. It'll take you to the download site. I'm not a robot, and then whichever one you're using. In this case, we're doing Flash Pro Manager. Either one of these is fine. Once you do get that, though, there is a little, I won't say glitch, but a thing where you have to, when you launch the program, right click and then run as administrator. What's that going to do? As soon as you connect to your Hondata dongle, it's going to try to update the firmware immediately. And sometimes people have issues where they freeze and whatnot. But once you get everything basically connected and you're onto the ECU, there's two things you can do. One is you can literally download from the ECU. It'll take you whatever ROM is inside, or you can start with the new calibration. So you go to new calibration, choose from the drop-down menu whichever car you have. In this case, it's a 2012 Civic Si. And then we want factory settings. Well, I want factory settings. You guys can choose whatever you guys want to do. So anyway, factory settings, and this is what you have. The first thing you're going to do, and plus this car, the customer is complaining about running very rich and this, that. So we basically, is because of the MAF sensor, MAF. I'm sorry, the MAF system. It's running rich. We want to see how rich it is, what's going on before we get into anything. Again, I want to overemphasize the fact that this is not a complete tuning video. This is bare basics just to get you going, and there could be more videos later on about how to completely tune it. But this is the bare basics. So we're gonna first start. We want to calibrate the MAF sensor into settings, because he does have a aftermarket intake and an exhaust, so he's running rich. How do we do that? We need to know currently what it's doing, first of all. So let's start with a data log, I think. And this is not a wide open throttle data log. To data log properly, you're going to need to select some sensors that you're going to want to log. And usually from factory, these are already set here, you will see. But for display, this is what I choose. Whatever the map is reading, the coolant temp, IAT temp, RPM, long-term field trims and short-term field trims. AFM is basically the grams per second for what the map is reading and what voltage it is. And I also like to throw in the hertz. Also, ignition timing, knock, air-fuel ratio, and RPM. And the way you change this, you click display, you right-click, new value is going to show RPM, right-click, sensor, and you get to choose whichever one that you want to basically log. And I'm sorry, that's for display. Now, the logging section will be in here. That's pre-calibrated. So once you get this set up, you want to start the car and pick a gear. I usually do third or fourth gear. And I slowly go up. I mean, not too slow, but slowly go up in the RPM and your long-term and recording your long-term and short-term field trims. And that'll tell you exactly how rich or lean you are. So if you're reading negatives, that means it's very rich, or I'm sorry, it's rich. If positive, it's adding fuel. So you want to be as close to zero as possible on the map. Some people like a negative of 1 or 2, but I personally just try to make it zero as possible. Load a log. I did one before. So this is the MAF log. As you can see here, I didn't really have to change anything. It's just preloaded from factory. You're paying attention to this. Once you get your log, save it. And basically logging is running from idle, hold on to idle for a few seconds, and then going all the way close to red line, slowly going your RPM up. And this is what my this particular car did. You see the trims are -11, the long term. And as you go up a little bit on the RPMs, it stays. And I'm noting -11 trims and the voltages. So it's -11 all the way, it looks like, to close to red line. That makes it very easy. Once you do get that log, let's open up a new I mean, we actually did that, so let's look at the calibration. We want to go to sensors, make sure everything is all right. That's a stock one. And this is the map. So you basically, in this car, it was easy, -11, and then whatever the voltage is, it went all the way to, close to red line. So you would just highlight everything because it was 11. If it wasn't, you just look at, hey, maybe it was negative or whatever the fuel trim was up to a certain voltage. You would pause it, come back here, make the correction. And the way you make the correction is, say you highlight a section that you want to correct, adjust and percentages adjustment plus or minus. So if you put -10 and press OK, it'll take 10% off. So this is 11. I don't want to do 11. I want to do another run. I want to do 9%, 2% less. And boom. And then you basically do that for all the voltage and long-term trims. You kind of have to do it a couple of times in order for you to get it right. And the fuel trims have to come in order for you to do it. It's not just there. As soon as you flash the thing, it'll reset the fuel trim, and then you basically have to make it come back on again. So it's a couple of process. Just be patient, just repeat as you think. But -2, -1 is, +1 is, I think, acceptable. But you want to get close to 0 as possible, but try to stay on the negative side, which basically is running richer than leaner. So that's basically how you tune math. So once you've tuned your math and you're satisfied with the results, it's time to move on to the rest of the stuff. And again, this is oversimplifying everything. So let's take a look at what is available. And again, I love the interface of Hondata compared to a lot of the other programs that are out there. So just going to go down really quick about what's here. So this one is basically tells you about your current program and the calibration. You can add permission and whatever. Second up is fueling. This is how you control your injectors. If you were running larger injectors, you can choose what kind of control or axes you want to use. Is it based on KPAs, which is absolute? You want to do PSIs, you want to do bar, but usually people leave it on KPAs. Fuel trims, obviously, pretty self-explanatory. And then let's go to what everybody wants to look at. Wide open Lambda. Now this is NA. You do have options here to, as you can see, it's only reading 0 boost, which is basically a full throttle. There's no zero vacuum. There's going to be zero vacuum in the manifold. So this is your fueling. This is literally what you would get from factory. This doesn't mean you're going to be hitting 12.6 though. That's what tuning is all about, that you're going to adjust that. This is wide open throttle Lambda for Vtec, and this is non-Vtec, so you have to tune both. Cranking fuel, this is just adding fuel when you're cranking. Fuel trims for cylinders, you can literally add or subtract, make each cylinder leaner or whatnot. Air temperature compensation, coolant temp compensation. I will leave this on factory for now unless your stuff is very heavily modified. Ignition, low means non-VTEC, high means VTEC. So this is timing at VTEC, before VTEC. Again, the ignition also has the cylinder, same thing as the fuel. VTEC, this is on and off point from factory. You're at 5,000. You kind of have to play with this. So you would do dyno runs on low VTEC and high VTEC and see where it would make most amount of power. So lower end, basically when the VTEC is clicked off, and upper end is when it comes on. So if I set this to 6,000 RPMs, the VTEC will come in at 6. And once it is in VTEC, the RPM needs to be below 5,000 in order for it to click off of VTEC. That's what this basically means. What else can we do? Vtec timing. Let's take a look at this. This is a very debated, topic here. Now, cam angle basically is the not VTEC, but how much advance your intake cam open in reference to top dead center. So you literally have to play with this. You have to play with this, meaning first you put your VTEC at, say, high, and you run various timing in this and see what the car likes power-wise when it comes to non-VTEC cam angle timing. And then you put the car to low VTEC, say 4,000 RPMs, and then you tune this table and see which area makes the most amount of power. And you just blend it in between the two. Closed loop operations, pretty self-explanatory. And that's the bare basics. Now, I'm not going to go that deep into it. I just want to show you how to just, for minor mods like intake, one of the biggest things, and exhaust that you would be doing. So now that you have gotten the cam angle and everything sorted out, the fueling and whatnot, now it's time to do, I guess, power runs on timing and everything. Like you're literally you're gonna try to make power now. So usually after you have done the fueling, this is my process. You've done the cam angles and everything. That takes a couple of runs. You're gonna need to start tuning timing. Now, timing on Hondas aren't as simple as other cars. And the reason why I say this is because it goes off of cam angles. So cam timing, in this case, it's a Vtec, and other cars, MyVec or VVTi or whatnot. So you literally have to do your timing at 0 degrees of cam angle, whatever that's going to come out to. Then you have to do 15, then you have to do 30, then you have to do 40, then you have to do 45. Mind you, you have to correlate this, and this is just one set. This is the non-VTEC set. Then you have to do it again for the VTEC. In order for you to, make sense of this, it's not that complicated. Just sounds complicated. Take a look at the cam's angle. Say, you chose this. I would personally, from here, I would do, I guess, 20. Let's just, for argument's sake, 20. And then right before, see, you don't want to change your cam angle during VTEC. So my VTEC is probably going to come in at, 45, 44 or whatever. So right around 45 to 5,000, I would just do whatever your max is going to be. Just say in this case, say I'm going to go to 40, see if it makes power. I would interpolate this and make a slow progression, see what the graph looks like on that. Well, wait, that didn't do it. Let's try again. This is going to be 40. And then from here to here, you want to do horizontal. There you go, almost. Okay, there you go. And then from this point on, it really doesn't matter because your VTEC is kicking in. This is going to use this section, whatever your post VTEC angle is like. So let's say for argument's sakes, we do change this to 40 degrees. And then you want to dovetail this down to, say, 5. Okay. So literally what's happening here is at 1,000 RPM to 2,200 RPM, it's going to use the non-VTEC. Obviously, VTEC comes in later. This is the timing table it's going to use because you're at 20, so it's in between 15 and 30. It's going to use a blend right in the middle. Okay, and then you pop into VTEC. Okay, say you're at 5,000, it's 40 degrees. It's going to use not this table, but this table because that's at 40 degrees. That's why I say it's like tuning, like 4 or 5 different tables. Now, after years of tuning this, you kind of know what's going to be what. So it's easier. You can tune all of them all at once. You can make group changes. Typically, if for NA and you're not heavily modding, I will leave this alone. I would literally just go here, go all, and add 1 or 2 degrees and see what that does to my power curves. And that's the very, very basics of timing. There's a lot more into it. Again, I just want to cover mostly this video is about the interface, how nice it is, and all the stuff that you can do. One of the cool things about Hondata is that most of their programs, I think all of them, actually have this feature. Say you do a data log. Okay, let's load a data log and okay, this is a data log. All right. You can open, whatever table you want to see live. And this is not live. Like, you're literally just recording. It's called live play. Say you want to see, hey, what cam angles or which ignition timing it's using or this, that. You literally go to whichever table you want to do. Okay, let's do wide open throttle, Lambda. Okay, and you load the data log and you play. And you can see these sections right here is literally what the car is using. And you have your RPM based here and all the other stuff. See, I'm about to do a run. Okay, I think I'm shifting gear or something. Switching gears, yep. And you can see live what it's doing. And this is the Vtec. Okay, so you see it shows you which cells are sent. That's cool because you can literally pause it. You can pause it and hey, it's just using this at this RPM, and you could just make corrections directly to here. And that I think one of the biggest strengths of Hondatas. So, what did you do? What kind of run did you do? I just heard you peeling out over here.
Peeling out?
For no reason.
That was a pretty good tool.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
you took it through all the gears?
Yeah, I took it through all the gears.
Okay. Other than the word good,
yeah,
can you use like actual adjectives?
Like adjectives?
Yeah, not your feelings.
Not my feelings?
The difference between before and now.
Like, before what I had it was like the gap when it's like you step on the gas, it takes forever to actually like go there. Yeah. Right now, when it is, it's just you step on it, you have to instantly respond.
Your head is breathing right, like it's pulling some air in there.
Because it wasn't breathing like right now. Like I'm telling you, it's a little bit different because when you step on it, you get automatically it goes, and it's not like it goes and drops down.
It actually increases in power.
It's just,
yeah, I felt it like when the Vtec kicks in, it's pretty good. But basically, what you needed was the cam angle to be correct. The advance and of the cams. So your cam actually can do both Vtec, which is lifts more, but can open early and open longer. So that's basically because your head was breathing right, like you're giving it air, but it was just suffocating outside of the engine. So that's basically. I'm glad you're happy. Supercharger.
We're gonna be back.
Okay, good.
Supercharger.
He's gonna be back. Yes.
Turbo supercharger. We'll see what's gonna happen. For sure, we're gonna build the transmission because.
Okay. Well, yes. Well, clutch.
The clutch. That's the clutch issue right now because when when you're revving all the way.
Yeah, it's at 65 to 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grab another gear.
Really?
Yeah, I don't want to grab. When you pass the 7,000 point right now.
Yeah.
And you're gonna try pop at 75. It won't let you. And then when you come to the dead stop, you're losing.
So you're probably losing power up top too.
Yeah.
You know, you might want to back out the pedal a little bit because I noticed you catching all the way in the bottom. My car didn't do that.
And I'll see because I know I have the clutch issues for sure.
Yeah.
Because you know that's 100,000 miles on the stock clutch.
Yeah.
Dealer, so nobody replaced it, nobody touched anything. So the clutch for sure is an upgrade for sure.
Well, you're gonna need them if you go turbo or supercharger anyway.
That's not gonna happen on stock clutch. So.
Do some maintenance. What's the mileage on that car?
100,000.
Bro, did you do any kind of maintenance on it?
Right now, it was yesterday. It was fresh oil change because it was new.
Did you check the timing?
The timing?
The timing components?
Nope. The timing components wasn't checked. Nothing was checked. It's just fresh spark plugs from 0 to 100.
Well, before you really upgrade, you should do all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean later on, like right now, after this tune is gonna get.
Yeah, and then once you get the turbo and you and him, that's it.
Yep.
Go against what is it, the GT? Yeah, what is this turbo? G35 1050? It's fucking small, man. It looks small. I know. That's the whole point, right? That's the whole point. It's the motion in the ocean, right? It ain't the size.